Oh hi internet, I'm some random guy and today we're going to unbox an NVIDIA 1660 Super graphics card produced by MSI. I bought this graphics card at the beginning of the pandemic, so around April 2020. I recorded this footage back then and wasn't planning on making this video initially, but now with the great graphics card drought, I figured a lot of people might not be able to get their hands on the 3 series graphics card and go for a 1660 Super. So here we are. This late to the party review has been made possible by NVIDIA's lackluster production. But I digress. The graphics card comes pretty well packaged, as you might expect from such an expensive component, which is sturdy but also liable to break if handled a little too rough. The card comes with a small manual, an extra booklet in which the CEO of MSI personally thanks you for the purchase, but not really of course, and the card itself in an anti-static bag firmly tucked into the foam. No converters or extra HDMI or DisplayPort cables were supplied. The card itself has a sturdy backplate, 2 fans that do their work rather quietly I would say, until you start stressing it out of course. On the matter of outputs it has 4, 3 DisplayPorts and 1 HDMI port. So after unboxing there was not a lot left to do but to plug it into a PCI Express port on the motherboard of my system, plug in the power supply cables, install the drivers and see what kind of beast GPU this is. When I say beast GPU, I really mean priced with decent performance GPU. Even back in April 2020 this was not considered a top of the line card, but more nice performance for a nice price card. I use it to play video games occasionally and to support my CPU when editing videos and rendering them. 1 year later I can tell you it's very much up to the task. As there's already plenty of videos and websites that tell you how many cores this graphics card has, what its maximum frequency is and how much memory it has, I will refrain from that. Honestly, if I don't have a benchmark website to see how it performs compared to other cards, those numbers don't mean much to me. I can tell the 1660 Super is faster than a 1060 for example, but not faster than a 1070. However, both of those cards don't support DirectX 12, while the 1660 Super does. Of course it won't compare to the all-new 3000 series of NVIDIA, as they blow it out of the hypothetical water. And I say hypothetical because good luck finding a 3000 series graphics card without selling one of your kidneys on the black market. But I digress again. To me, it's much more tangible to see how much frames per second you get out of your games, so in order to demonstrate that, I'll show you some here. Note, this was recorded on a system with a Ryzen 3600 CPU and 16 gigs of RAM, while all games were running on an SSD. This may influence the frames per second slightly, but the heavy lifting is done by the GPU in most cases, so it should still give you a good indication. However, your mileage may vary. In Arma 3, a game which is notorious for its piss-poor performance, I got around 75 frames per second outside of the cluster, with around 50 frames per second inside. This was recorded during a game of King of the Hill. In Battlefield 3, with all the settings maxed out of course, I got around 150 to 160 frames per second. Naturally, this game is rather dated. Call of Duty Warzone got between 70 and 80 frames per second, which I thought was rather nice, considering the scale of the game. But then again, Call of Duty games are generally incredibly well optimized. Counter-Strike Global Offensive got between 250 and 300 frames per second. I guess those kind of numbers would be relevant to esporters. Hell Let Loose got between 40 and 60 frames per second. This makes it very well playable, but it's well known this game struggles with performance, especially on the Quarantine map. Overwatch gave a very steady 85 frames per second. Not sure what that means for esporters, but for regular people that's more than enough in my opinion. World of Warcraft was running between 60 and 90 frames per second, depending on the zone and the amount of effects, but more than enough for this type of game. Sadly, I don't own Crysis, so I cannot tell you the answer to the most relevant question to any graphics card. Will it run Crysis? All in all, this should give you a bit of an indication what kind of performance the card would bring. Alright, that will be it. Thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully catch you on the next one. Bye bye!